And I ordered one of these circuit breakers, and that should be all I need. Oh, I needed some more 10 gauge wire for the charge controller, the red. So I got that. And I think that's it. I used really big. I can't even find a label on it. It's got to be 0 or gauge, or well, it's not even, I don't know, big. And that's fine, but I think instead of ordering this size again, I'm gonna keep using that just like it is. I have a lot of this 4 gauge, so, and I think that's plenty for that charge controller going through the fuse and the circuit breaker down to the battery, and I'll keep it all close by, so it's not a very long run. I'll put the battery monitor on. I have a temperature sensor I'm gonna add, and this is a remote I'll mount later for the inverter. Look good on a wall of the small cabin. But this was the battery I used on the boat. I'm sure it's fine. It's only got 3 months on it. This thing, I could never even, it's a SOC lithium iron phosphate battery. This thing, I could never even take it down to half. And I would spend days at a time in pretty cloudy weather, waiting out weather, just at anchor, Netflix and chill for days, you know. So I don't know, I could never drain it, but I didn't have everything on it either. I kept the boat exactly the way it was as far as the house battery and everything. The only thing I switched over is the cabin lights to this. And what else do I have on here? Well, I'd use it to charge all my tool batteries. I was running tablets for navigation, and my laptop that I seem to have going all the time on YouTube or something else, and my phone. So keeping it that way, I never even worried about it. I never even had the battery sensor on it, but I don't think I ever even scratched the surface. So I don't know, as long as you're not heating or cooling, I think with solar, I think this will be plenty to get me started. These are 175 watt panels, so we've got 700 watts here, 750 watts. Is that right? Yeah. So I think that now I am gonna need new batteries, and I don't want to just add one to this because it's like 4 years old, but I'm sure it's still good, and I don't want to waste it because they went down, but at the time this was almost $1,000 battery. So I think what I'm going to do with it is I'll use that maybe in the tool shed eventually on its own. Maybe just put like a 100 watt panel or even 2, they're cheap, on it, a cheap charge controller, and use it to charge my tool batteries. It's the other thing I've been trying to kind of collect a little bit is tools, but I love just building stuff, so I think I'm gonna enjoy it. But a lot of it's just, you know, junk or just hand tools. I do have all my battery stuff over here. I've got a bunch of 20 volt stuff that I'm sure I'll come in handy and charge it all. I've got a good miter saw, but it's not battery powered, so I think I'm going to sell it to my buddy. And I want a battery, I want everything battery powered. And the other thing, I want to get a framing nailer, battery powered as well. I think when I build out, especially at first, I'm not going to worry about, like I was thinking the other day, I built this workbench a long time ago. I could build this or take it with me, maybe take it apart. That could be my kitchen counter and everything, you know. I don't know. I'm into function. If it functions, got a high level of function, then that's all I need. But I know in my budget, I'm not going to get a water source, and that's all right. I mean, otherwise I'm not going to be doing it. So I'm gonna live with that. I'll haul in my drinking water. I do want to do water catchment for like laundry and for what's the other thing I was thinking? Oh, for showers, for sure. And then if all I'm doing is buying drinking water, that's not too bad. I've got my ice cold fridge that I had on the sailboat. It's not in there. That's just the insulated case. I brought it inside because I haven't used that in 4 years, but it's working great. I put it in my little office and have a bunch of drinks in it. And then I got the generator. Just kind of dusted it off. I'm gonna change the oil and drain the old gas out of it. And I think between the sailboats I've stayed on, I mean, I haven't lived on them, but I went on extended trips on them. Between that and Starlink, the stuff I already have, and the fact that I enjoy it, shouldn't be an issue. I don't think I'll have a problem with living that way. I actually prefer it. I prefer smaller space. It's easier to control. I think sailboat's plenty of space, so I'm not worried about that. I'll build small. It just gives you a reason to do a nice outdoor kitchen, I think. But yeah, so I have some things I'm preparing in advance. It's kind of hard after, 4 years just working on bills and debt, and then I don't know, I feel like it's finally coming around. I mean, at least enough for me to get out everything out that's been put away for almost 4 years and start planning this out better. I need to be prepared going in because I'm going to be on a tight budget, especially for a while. If I'm just living off my company, I'm going to be in a really tight budget. Maybe I'll do some other things. I don't know, but as long as I stay completely debt free except for the land payment, and I'm going to have a few other payments. I'll have Starlink. There was like 3 things I was thinking of. Car insurance. I think there might have been one more. Cell phone. Yeah, that should be about it. But I don't know, if I have months where I got to get by on like $1,800, I'll just have to do it and move on, do what I can. So this might be a little bit of a slow process, but at least I have this one video before we sell the house, long before, just kind of showing what I've prepared so far. I think what's next is I know I'm going to be finishing this off this coming week. I'll push the panels out in the driveway and test them out. Test the whole thing out on this old battery, but it's what I have. And then put her back away and wait again. But I thought the other thing I could do is start going through my tools and stuff. I have like the air compressor. It'd be cheap to buy like a pneumatic nailer instead of a battery, but I really just I don't want to run my generator unless I have to, or unless it's too damn hot. I figure a few hours in the afternoon. The problem that I have here with the heat is it never dissipates. So you don't really get, maybe out at the island, but I'm inland now, 45 miles, and you just don't get the break, That's one thing I loved about when I was sailing in Michigan, Lake Michigan, mainly. In the northern parts especially, it might got hot in the afternoons, but it's only for a couple hours, and then the sun goes down, and before you know it, you're putting on a sweatshirt. You know, here I'm just sweating just going out there and standing there. But I don't know, I'm just tired of that. And I actually look forward to wintering at a cabin. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I mean, just keeping it warm and everything. I really would like to have a wood burner, but I might have to go with like a diesel heater. And I'm waiting on some things too. Like, I don't want to, plus I can't really afford it, be buying a bunch of stuff now that to use, because what I have, I don't know when I get there. Like, if I ended up getting a place in northern Arkansas, then a nice chainsaw of the right length would be pretty important. But if I get a place in the mountains in New Mexico or Arizona, you know, where I have some pine trees, but, you know, no real thick forest, then I might want one to trim trees and stuff with, but I might not even need one. I've got a Sawzall, so. But I just don't think I want to rush into buying things I may not need. I think everything out there, my solar setup, I'm going to need the new batteries for it. And I want to get at least 600 amp hours of lithium. I think that's a really good number for me alone. It should be more than I ever need.